Hi everyone, it's Plastic EP with Spencer Drate here on Interviews Down Under. Introduce our special guest, Spencer.
Our special guest today is Prakash Slim from Nepal. He's one of the, I call him the Mississippi Nepal musician. His heart is in Mississippi to start one. His new album I have here called Prakash Slim Country Blues from Nepal, which is available now, it just came out. But I want to, before we get into Prakash, I want to intro the show a little bit. My life in blues started early when I was designing album covers, and the manager of John Lee Hooker came up to me and asked me if I would take photos for John Lee Hooker, and a very famous blues guitarist. And what happened was I did, and that photo became the front cover of the album called The Best of John Lee Hooker on Rhino Records, and it was released overseas also, as my photo on the front. I want to also let you know some albums which I think are important in blues. Our favorite, Robert Johnson, which is the base of Prakash's musicianship, one of the basses musicians, very famous. Howlin' Wolf, I suggest the first album. There's also a great album called Howlin' Wolf and the London Sessions, another great album. But the first album's incredible. Black Backdoor Man, Evil, some of the songs Rolling Stones founded to play, covered. And our friend that Prakash and I know, Rory Block, who's a very famous, award-winning slide blues guitarist for many years. I know Rory since the 60s. And Cindy Cash Dollar, who goes on tour with Rory a lot, another great musician. I want, if nobody has, they should get this album called Confessing the Blues. It's a double CD with all the major blues guitarists are on here. Howlin' Wolf and Little Willie, all the greats are on here. It's an album that everybody should have for the Rent Blues. So without further ado, let's get to our special guest. And Prakash, tell me, where does this all start with you with the blues? How far back in life, where does this all become the inspiration in your head?
Well, I have to start from my childhood. So how I got the blues, so how I connected to the blues. Well, I was born in a small village of Nepal during the rainy season in a small field. My village saw its first electric bulb in 1983 and first motor car only in 1995. My father passed away at the age of 29, leaving my mother with 3 children to raise. Then what food we could manage to obtain was earned by my mother, who worked in their neighbor's fields. I went to a public school where instead of desks and benches had mats made of straw. I was interested in music since I was a child. I would play music by drumming against a water gallon and sing songs all day. I feel that was the time music drew me to its world. Then when I passed grade 10, my sister gifted me a bicycle, but I wanted to play and learn guitar. So I sold my bicycle and bought a guitar lying my family that one of my friends had taken for a few days. Then I feel how I just connected with the blues is that I feel my economic depression, discrimination, and other social issues made me the bluesman. That was my first guitar. I just sold my bicycle and bought a guitar, like my family. That way, I got the blues. So I think, yeah.
Yeah, and you have some incredible. You cover some songs of incredible musicians like Robert Johnson, Charlie Patton, who's very famous, of course, and Mississippi, Fred McDowell, Blind Blake, Bubba White, and of course your own music is on the new album. It's a great album, by the way. Musicianship, I really love the album. Tell me about, especially Robert Johnson. There's a movie that John Hammond did called Devil at the Crossroads, all about Robert Johnson. He's one of the founding people that we love so much in blues. Tell us about your love for Robert Johnson.
So, well, firstly, that he's one of my idols, and then when I just heard Charlie Patton, Robert Johnson, and Bucka White, many so country blues legends, I shifted to the country blues style. When I heard Robert Johnson, yeah, it touched my heart, like his hard driving, like rhythm, syncopated, beautiful, just dangerous slide techniques. Yeah, there was just like a shuffle, boogie boogie. Everything is there. When I listened to Rob Johnson, so I lost myself in their groups. Like, he's my inspirations and he's my idol too.
And the album is on DeVille Records. How did the album evolve? What was the inspiration, and how did you hook up with DeVille?
Well, I was connected with my friend Carl White. He's a good blues musician from France. He's my good friend. So before 2 years ago, I was just looking forward to just really out my song through any international album, record label. I talked to Carl. I have a dream to just release my album from their international label. He just helped me a lot, and he has been just doing so much for me. Then I hooked up with Carl White and his friend, his drummer, Epps, helped me that with the Devil Records. I hooked up like this. So.
And what is I know the emphasis is with Mississippi blues. Why is that? What attracted you to Mississippi blues?
Well, I don't know, but when I listen to the blues, Mississippi style, like Delta country, so it touches my heart, and I go for it from the beginning of my life. So when I was young, I used to listen that kind of old style blues, so it touches my heart. I don't know why.
I think you'd really want to go in the road of Robert Johnson. I think if you came to the United States, you'd probably want to travel down to where Robert Johnson played and all those great people played. I have a feeling you'd want to do that, right?
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I have a dream too that I want to just be there in Mississippi, just crossroads, yeah, ground zero. So yeah, it's my dream to be there and play somewhere.
Yeah, I love that. I love the style of Mississippi blues. It's a whole. You're very what we call traditional blues, and I love that area. It's so great to have you on. Actually, you combine East and West, right? I mean, in music, it's like a combination, right?
Right. Yeah. You know that I'm from this Eastern world, so I tried first there is a track called Blues Raga. I tried to just fusion like Blues Raga, blues feel with that country blues style, fusion with just some Blues Raga Indian style. So I hope that connect to the Eastern and Western musical world too. That's yeah.
Going back on some of your influences, right? I'm just saying, I'm going to suggest a few names, and I want you to tell me if they influenced you or they didn't. Let me say the names. Now, I know that, for example, Elvis Presley sang blues, for example. Muscle Shoals, I'm just saying, the sound that came out of there. Creedence Clearwater Revival, right? Which to me is blues. Did these people affect you and encourage you to do the blues?
It's difficult for me to that. It's like that, yeah. There are different subgenres and kind of blues. So I don't, yeah. I think I can't deny that, but my style I belong to the Mississippi and the Delta sound. So
yeah, I think you'd probably relate to B.B. King maybe too, right? B.B. King and of course Muddy Waters, that area. There's definitely a thing about that, but Plastic is right. There are these musicians that like the Rolling Stones, for instance. I mean, they cover just like Plastic was mentioned. They cover the blues area, And you can't avoid that. You know what I mean? It's sort of like that. But I can understand why you're going to a certain style. You know, there's also Mississippi Swamp Blues. I had a double album of Mississippi Swamp Blues. I don't have it anymore. I gave it to, you know where I gave it to? Joan Jett. Joan Jett of the Blackheart. And she has it now. But years ago, I had this incredible double album called Mississippi Swamp Blues. These were unknown blues players down. And yeah, there she is. And she loved the album, but I don't have it now. I wish I had it, actually. It's hard to get. It's a real hard to get. But it's all these musicians down in Mississippi that I call them hard to get. These players that most people won't know that were on this album. Amazing album, double album. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting part of life. I mean, you live the blues, right? I'm sure you lived the blues. I know I did in my early life. I struggled a lot. I traveled, crashed at people's places. My life was a struggle in the beginning. And I think you got to have that kind of blues feel in life to really feel it. And I think you had, right? I mean, the way you were living when you were a kid, I don't know if you had electricity or you were brought up in a certain area. Is that right? You know what I mean? Your whole life, right?
Yes. I think so. So you know how I grew up in this society. That's how our circumstances, and then how I suffered, and how I just got my education. So how is our social status? It's all just affected me and my life story. Then I don't know. Yeah, it's the blues. I think I'm the blues. I can say. Yeah, I know why.
You are the blues and you play the blues. You know, it's like a whole thing. And I love the fact that that's you know, blues was I was so close. I still am. That's my favorite genre in music, blues. It really is. I mean, I've done rock. I'm in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I've designed for rock, punk, jazz, whatever. But blues, I have such a love for in my life. There's something about it. And maybe it's because the way I live my life is a struggle all my life, you know, to get to a certain point, you know. And I think it makes you relate to it. You know, you just think about it. You have to play it, right?
Yes, right. I feel fortunate to have the blues in my life. So there is everything in blues, I think.
Yeah. Well, now you're associated with education, blues education, right? Is that right?
Yes, right. Yeah.
And tell us about that.
I teach just short history about blues, where it started, and subgenres, and a little about African Americans history in schools in Kathmandu. They learn the basic songs like "You Gotta Move," spiritual numbers like "Trimmed and Burning," like that. Yeah, some kind of music, blues music, and then students just love that music. I really feel fortunate that I started just before 17-18 years back teaching blues in their institutions and the schools, but they love it.
You know what's amazing, Spencer? The way you've explained it is spot on. Look, let me explain.
Yeah,
we live where we live culturally. And for me, I grew up in the 60s. So I'm getting the blues, let's say from Eric Clapton, from the Yardbirds and all this. That's our interpretation. Where he's getting it from the original blues people that influenced, as you said, the Rolling Stones. That he's like mainstream real blues, like Hooker and all that. He's getting all the influence. He's getting the original influences.
Yeah, I mean, you've got artists like Willie Dixon, you know, like Dixon, right? Prakash, who are amazing in that area. You know, we haven't mentioned so many artists, but you know, they're all foundations of that genre. I guess I call it traditional blues in my own head, you know, and I love it so much as you do, and you know.
Yes. Like after the Second World War, just after 1940s, there just started electric blues, urban blues, and then there are so many greatest blues artists So I love different kind of subgenres blues, like Chicago. Yeah, I listen that's West Coast, every kind of blues, rock blues. Yeah, but I just want to play country blues, or Delta style blues. Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, Delta, it's a great form, great music form. It is amazing, it's like you have this style. I've seen some interviews with you where you play actually on the interview. It's really great stuff, But
yeah,
who do you
yeah.
who do you listen to now? Do you listen to other music now on the radio, or are you into any musicians now that you listen to?
Yeah. I'm just listening same music like the Sun House, Fred McDowell. Yeah, there are so many songs. Yeah, I have to just learn some from Lightning Hopkins. There are Rob Johnson. Then I just did a few of songs, so I need to learn so many songs from their country blues era.
Yeah, I think maybe you should do a CD of just maybe and by the way, your songs are on it also on the album, really good. Some of your songs, and I
Yes,
think maybe you should do an album if you want of cover songs of some of these great blues musicians, expanded. Your next album, maybe you want to do more of the other ones, maybe some other blues musicians that are very famous that we all love. Might be an idea. I know Rory did Rory Block did an album covering famous women musicians, and she did an album like that. So it might be an idea,
Yeah, I love to do that. Yes, I'm just thinking about that too. Yeah, I love to do that.
Yeah, do it.
In 2015, you got invited to go to San Francisco to a music camp. Can you tell me about that?
Yep.
Yeah, I just got invitation from there. That was from California, Wellness School of Music, for 7 days or 9 days workshop, music retreat program. But unfortunately, just we hit by the earthquake in Nepal so badly, so I couldn't make it to the way to the California. That's the bad part of me here.
Amazing how you come up and you have this love for the blues, and as you said, you just develop the love and the passion for the music, and you become this musician. And then you transition, like Spencer showed you new CD, and the expression in your music is so strong. To me, it's unbelievable. Doesn't matter where you come from, but that CD there, right, is world class. And the passion doesn't matter where you are. That's you representing you and saying to the world, this is me. I'm real blues. And I mean, I think that's the main thing that comes across. You agree, Spencer?
Yeah, I definitely do. It's a very good point. I definitely do. Very good point.
Yes. I feel fortunate to I already said that I feel fortunate to have blues in my life. So I'm so fortunate to connected with the blues world, and then US, and then the Europe and the Australia. The people are loving my music, so I'm blessed with the blues. Yeah.
This is a very good part of our interview, where we're going to have Prakash Slim, who has his new album out, Country Blues from Nepal, on DeVille Records, which you should all get because he's an incredible blues guitarist. And on this album, he covers a number of traditional blues artists. And they are Booker White, Robert Johnson, Charlie Patton, Mississippi Fred McDowell, and Blind Blake. And so Prakash now will play two of his choice songs from the album. And Prakash, go ahead.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Yeah, firstly, I'm going to do Jitterbug Swing by Booker White, which is on my album. This song is unique, I think. Chord vamps and behind the verses and the alternate bass made this beautiful song. So one of my favorites from Booker White. Come on, you women, let's do the jitterbug swing. dog swing. The Downunder will be doing the thing. Hey, I can't stand it alone. I'm telling you, women, I can't stand it alone. Hey, every time I ask you, you won't let me follow you home. Well, it's Me and the Devil Blues, one of my favorites from Robert Johnson. We know Robert Johnson, his technique like color harmony, double stop slides are so wonderful. So I have included this number in my CD, and Fabrizio Pozzi from a legendary blues harp player has played a harmonica over this song. So I'm going to try this song. Hope you like it.
Excellent.
Early this morning, when you knocked upon my door, early this morning, when you knocked upon my door, and I said hello, I believe it's the girl. Me and the devil was walking side by side. The devil was walking beside. I'm going to beat my mind until I get satisfied. She said you don't see why that I would go around. Now baby, you know you enter her mouth now. She said you don't see why that I would turn around. It must be that old evil spirit so deep down in the ground. You may bury my body, no matter how sad. Baby, I don't care where you bury my body, where I'm dead and gone. You may bury my body down by the house. So my old evil spirit can't get a greyhound wasn't right.
So we're going to finish this interview with showing the album for you to buy, Prakash Slim, Country Blues from Natal. And thank you so much for Prakash being on. And on to our next interview, which will be somewhere very soon. Thanks a lot, Prakash. And thank you, Plastic. Thank you.
Thank you, Prakash Slim, and thank you, Spencer Drate. And we'll see you on another episode. Coming to you soon. See everyone.